Hello YouTube, today we got an ASUS laptop. The model is K501U, K501UW-NB72. The client states that the power connector, this piece right here, doesn't work properly. So we're gonna see what's wrong with it. All right. Let's take a look. All right, so minus is fine, but the positive doesn't give us anything. So the problem is with the pin. The positive is that pin right there, the silver, the golden color pin that does not conduct electricity to the laptop. Somebody tried to screw around with it before because some screws are missing. Let's take it apart. Alright, so here's all the long screws, 4 of them right there. This is a short screw. That's another short screw, but I think the screws are not even from around this laptop. I mean, they are from here, but they are not matching where they need to be. No screws here, probably no screws there, and no screws here. So what we do is we stop the strange. That's really strange. Okay, so I guess they upgraded the SSD drive, and to keep it in place they put the tape inside here. So what we're gonna do is we will try to get all of this tape out of here. I mean, we got plenty of tape. Okay, let's see, like that. Alright, I don't want to break the SSD card, so the SSD drive, because so much dirt. I mean, that's one way to do it. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. So here, I have to go wash my hands. Okay, well, let's continue. I have to wash my hands because it's all the tape attracts all of the germs and bacteria and dirt. So this is not the cleanest laptop there is, but it's not the dirtiest. Let's remove the hard drive. You probably have a screw or two right here. And by the way, the bracket from your old hard drive is reattachable to the new drive. Alright, so here we want to disconnect the battery first, before you even touch the hard drive, but kind of skipped my mind once I saw this going on around here. So once the battery is disconnected, remove the battery. Let's switch the camera positions here. That's... let me pause that. Okay, so let's remove this piece. That's true. And all of that is the battery. So the battery gonna go there, and we're gonna remove the battery like that. Let's bring the camera slightly closer. Alright, here is something missing. I'm not sure what, but the way you disconnect it is by moving the lever upwards. Move this hinge upwards. That hinge goes up, and that hinge goes up, and here this thing goes up as well. Alright. Alrighty, so this thing we disconnect like that. Move this thing out. Have to clean it on the reassembly. Yeah, let's clean it right now because otherwise the dust will be all over the place. So let's clean the heatsink. Let's clean the fans a little bit. That's garbage. Alrighty, let's disconnect. By the way, the laptop came in all the way from Alaska. So the idea is not to damage anything, because it takes some time to get from Alaska to here and then from here back to Alaska. That's not the best. I mean, the idea is not to damage any laptop that we get here. Just sometimes we can, if I mess up something, I could always order a replacement part at my expense. Okay, now that. Good job. Lift this guy out, and we got three screws right here. 1, 2, 3, and I think I need to kill that autofocus because it just irritates the hell out of my viewers. Let's focus on the motherboard. Hold on 1 second. Here, let's increase the brightness. Let's do the autofocus like that, and let's kill it. Okay, so the camera shouldn't be jumping anymore as long as I keep it at one place. We disconnect those two guys. We disconnect this guy right here. Pull on this this way. Okay, not all the way, but so that you would be able to connect it back to the laptop in the future. So here, what we want to do, we want to rotate this hinge outwards, and for that I need these pliers like that. And here we got the screw. 1, 2 screws right there. Without the autofocus it's even better. I mean, what there is to focus on my hand. By the way, my bruised up hands from fixing the laptops. Alright, so we got one more screw right here for the SSD card. Alright, we want to remove this. I want to put it like that right there. And now, alright, so we got it out. So let's clean up what we can clean up. Okay, some cockroaches. Is it? Where did they find cockroaches in Alaska? How they got there? Maybe some food. You know what, I just need to get this whole thing above the garbage and make sure. Just one of those dust particles could damage the motherboard in the future if it has any metal shavings on it. For example, this is, I'm not sure, dog hair or is it the wires? Go figure. Okay, this we set aside. Alright, so here we don't even need to take this fan of the motherboard, so I just put it back. Alright, and good job, and okay. Okay. All this microscopic dust doesn't do anything good. Alright, so the problem with this jack is that you're probably not going to be able to desolder it properly. Here's the reason why you would not be able to. I would be able to. And now here's where we need the autofocus to be working. Okay. So you see this component right here is gonna fall off the motherboard as soon as you start to do anything with this area right here. Those components might be dislocated, but even if you lose those components, it's no big deal. It's this component you need to be worried about. In this case, I need to be worried about. This component is big enough to put it back in place in case it comes off the motherboard. This is not really necessary, just a capacitor, it's no big deal. This is also not really necessary. So the goal is to remove this guy without damaging this guy, that guy, and this guy. And most importantly, this guy, because it's almost impossible to, well, it's possible, but it's gonna take me half a day of my life to fix up whatever I screwed up, right? So how do we go about trying to fix it without damaging the motherboard? So let's see. Alrighty. Okay. Without damaging the nearby components, that's what I was talking about. This is a Kapton tape. Kapton tape prevents the heat from the hot air to go on top of the Alright, so what I want to do is I want to tape it like that, and here I want to cut it. Alright. Here's where I do something like that, and like that, and tape it like that. Okay. Now next thing is the components right there. Okay, like that. Good job. And the thing is, I don't want to bend this huge piece, because the flatter it is, the less chances that this component gonna come off the motherboard. So that piece is what keeps this piece in place. But just in case I want to put another layer on top, so it would be much less penetration. The thing is, it's the end of the board, and once you apply any heat to it, it heats up really fast compared to the rest of the motherboard. So this needs to really be insulated the best it could be. It's like in painting, you know, the prep work is what takes the most, not so much the painting. And here's the soldering. It doesn't really take that long. It's mostly the preparation, because I don't want this laptop component in the back right there to come off the motherboard. I don't want those components right here to come off the motherboard. Alright, so let's switch to the soldering environment. Alright. Light, music, action, protection. Alright, so let's zoom in. Nope, sorry, wrong one. And like that. Alright, so let's see if we can change the focus a little bit on what I'm doing, otherwise you're not going to be able to see much. Alright, let's... That seems good enough, right? Yeah. Alright. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna add a little bit more flux and a little bit more solder to the connection. Alright, so what I don't want to add the flux to is that nearby components. So this whole thing needs to be wiped out a little bit. Alrighty, so as you can see, I removed the old connector and we're gonna match and find the new connector for this laptop. Alright, and just to show you what the problem was, you see this connection right here, that pin broke off right there. You see that blackness? That's where it supposed to be connected with this end right here. It should be connected to here, but it basically broke off right there at the back. Oops. Yeah. Alright, anyways, I need to get back to work and get this thing done and shipped out. So that's your problem basically on these laptops. That's what happens, this little piece breaks off in the back. Alrighty, so what I will install a slightly different looking jack, but it looks different, but it does exactly the same thing. You see where that piece connects to the motherboard, but layout is the same, everything the same, it's on the same level, same company manufacturing, right? Syngatron and Syngatron, you see? Horsey, seahorse, that's called Syngatron. Anyways, let's garbage that, switch to the Alrighty, so everything got cleaned up. In terms of the area around here, let me show you the close-up. Here. So that's the top side. As you can see, the solder went all the way through. The jack seat is perfectly fine, perfectly level. And that's the bottom side. As you can see, none of the components went off the motherboard missing. So all of the... Oops. Oh, no, everything's fine. Yep. I was thinking one of those components went missing. But no, everything seems to be solid. Here. And right there. Okay. Got one of my arms into sticky part again. Alright, let's continue working on this laptop. So the way how we assemble it back together is like that. We set those wires and shut down the exhaust. Okay, so here, make sure all of those wiring are out of the way. Set it like that, like that, like that, and like that. So here we got let's close this thing down. That thing down. And that thing is gonna close down. Like that. Is it an autofocus? It's not an autofocus. Let's see. Okay. Nope, it's not an autofocus. Come on. Focus. Focus, focus. All right. So here we have another cable that we need to connect. Right here. Like that. Let's close this thing down. Let's connect this fan right here. Like that. Let's drop the hinge down. Like that. Let's see if we can put this guy in there. Connect it right here. Connect it right here like that. Like that, like that. And let's screw this down here. Uh-oh. Right there is the screw. Like that, and here's the thing, this cable needs to be under here, nowhere else but here, like that, and then it needs to go like that, and go under right here, and go under right there, like that. Now we can screw this thing down. On this end we got like that. this special screw is holding this card down. So you drop it like that. You might or might not have this card in your laptop. This is the SSD card. Alright. And let's try and put in the hard drive in here like that. And like that. Now let's connect the, I'm not sure, the battery is probably aftermarket battery, because the battery usually has a guides on top of it. So let's do this thing like that, like that, and like that. Good job. Alright, good job. Here's one, here's two, here's three. Alright? Okay. So, and I guess we have to do exactly the same thing what the owner of the laptop did prior to shipping this thing to us. This wire is in the way, so I need to hold the wires down while putting this guy in there, so that nothing would be in the way. And I would like one more screw someplace. Yep. Let's do this screw right here. Alright. Did the wire jump in there again? No? Okay. Alrighty. Good job. Again, the regular metal bracket from this laptop should be sufficient enough to... Alright, so the main holding points are right here, right? So you want it to be like that. You want to make sure that this wire is there. This thing is sitting all the way down. And like that. Let's remove this thing, because it's not doing anything at this point in time anymore. Let's put the tape along the battery, and let's put the tape right here along the fan, like that. And there's really nothing else where we can mount the tape to. So like that, maybe here a little bit. Yep. Okay, so like that, and like that. Okay, so let's connect the battery in place. Is there a recording? Yeah, recording is happening. So the battery drops in place like that, like that, like that, like that, like that, and we close it down like that. So there is a little lever on the top to close down the battery. Okay. Alrighty. Let's make sure that this screw is all the way tight. This guy is tight. This is tight. This is tight, and we forgot to connect the 3 screws right here for the hinge. 1, 2, 3. Okay, well, I was checking if there's anything that might be flying around nothing's flying around. So, okay, good job. I want to make sure that the holes align, and the holes align or not align. Let's see. Yeah, the holes align perfectly fine. You could see right, depends on which angle you see, but yeah, they do align fine. Let's screw in the screws right here. Seems the screw was kind of too long. Let's see, this is that size. No, they're all the same size. Well, I guess there was 4 screws here. 1, 2, 3, 4, and I guess my guess is as good as yours. Maybe this one gonna go right here because it's slightly taller, and this one gonna go right here because it's also slightly taller. Alright, and then this thing gonna go right there. Let's add a few more screws out of my small screw collection. It sometimes takes longer to find a compatible screw than it is to fix the laptop. So let's screw this guy right there. Let's do this guy right here. And one right there will be just fine. Right here. Okay, good job. Now let's flip this thing over, set this guy aside, open this thing up, and let's see if we got if we have this universal power supply is probably the reason why the whole thing died, because this size is too much for this laptop and it doesn't even, well, let's see. No, it does work, but the size is not the right size. Well, it's probably gonna fit in there, but shoot. You know, if possible, buy the cheapest Chinese power adapters off of eBay, because for like $8-9, because they don't damage the connector as much as this huge tip right here. That's gonna damage this connector soon enough, and I'm gonna be back in business, thankfully. And the reason I'm in business is simply because I just wanted to show you that we got the light right here. You see, right there is the light. We got the power, and it powered up by itself. I didn't even press the power button. So yeah, now we're gonna check and see if the touchpad is working, keyboard is working. If everything works fine, we're gonna ship it back to the client, and what's done is done. Alright, I can see that the laptop is recognizing as everything being plugged in. Right there, you see this sign that shows that it's plugged in. Right there, that's the wireless. Not sure if you can see the sign. Maybe it's because there is no autofocus. Wait, hold on, where did it go? Come on, come back to life. 1 second, please. Okay, it still charges. By the way, what's the wattage and amperage needed for this laptop? Okay. It needs 6.32 amps in order for it to be charging and working fine. This is a 4.7 amp adapter, which is I would say 30 watts less than this thing needs. This thing needs 120 watts. This thing needs 90. This adapter provides 90 watts. This needs 120 watts. So what I need to do, I need to let it charge up the battery slightly right now. Once the battery has more charge on it, the power adapter would be able to power it up and charge the battery at the same time. But the system works. Yeah, basically the battery is charging. Just the reason it shut down because it doesn't have enough juice to run the laptop and charge the battery at the same time because the battery is exhausted. Anyways, we are at powerjackrepair.org. Please leave a like if it's not too much trouble. You guys have a good day and stay safe in this environment. Thank you. Bye.